Welcome again to Moxie's channel of English language. My name is Andrew Moxon and I'm pleased to have you here again. Before anything else, if you'd like to contribute to this channel, you can via my PayPal account, and that is moxiecel@gmail.com, moxycel@gmail.com. And this text can also be found in the text section of the YouTube channel. That's great. Now, this is number 15. Now, we will be doing some training on this, but let me explain a few things to you first. What an iron is. An iron. Can you see the iron? Iron the shirt. Iron the shirt. You see? Ironing? Yes. Okay. I left the iron on. I turned the iron off. Isn't that funny? I left it on. I turned it off. Turning, the same again as in 14. The turning. But this one, I left the iron on. Sometimes we say in English, we left it on. We say it's quite common, actually. I left the stove on. I left the oven on. I left the car on. Well, not really, that's running, but very common. Not car. The stove. I left the iron on. I turned the iron off. I'm leaving the iron on. I'm turning the iron off. I'm leaving the iron on. I'm turning the iron off. Okay. So, I had one past tense one there, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, so the best way for you to get the hang of this is to actually start training. So I'm just going to start training because it is really no common sense to it, it's just the way we speak. Okay, here we go. So we have that one. I and past tense. Okay, here we go. I have left the iron on. I have not. So let me get this right. Sorry. I've left the iron on. Just have to read it. I have not turned. So I have left the iron on, or I have turned the iron off. So sometimes I'll say left it on. Sometimes I'll say turn it off. Just for training. We start again. I have left the iron on. I have not turned the iron off. I've turned the iron off. I haven't left the iron on. I've left the iron on. I haven't turned the iron off. Yeah? Present tense. A little bit complicated this one, so bear with me. You know? I am turning the iron off. I am not leaving the iron on. I'm not leaving the iron on. I'm not leaving the iron on. I'm leaving the iron on. I'm not turning the iron off. It's pretty complicated. Doesn't matter, just try to get the hang of it. I'm trying to do two things at once. Really, I would need 2 training sessions to get through this, but I don't want to bore you too much. So let's see. Sorry. Oh, I forgot that. I forgot that. Sorry, I forgot that. Future tense. I am going to be leaving the iron on. I am not going to be turning the iron off. I'm going to be leaving the iron on. I'm not going to be turning the iron off. I'm going to be leaving the iron on. I'm not going to be turning the iron off. There we go. I will turn the iron off. I will not leave the iron on. I'll leave the iron on. I won't turn the iron off. A little bit crazy from this one. Go to this one. You, past tense. Let's go. You have left the iron on. You have not turned the iron off. You've left the iron on. You haven't turned the iron off. You've left the iron on. You haven't left. You haven't turned the iron off. Oh. If you're having difficulty, don't worry. It's no problem. Just get a bit of fun, you know, a bit of fun. You are turning the iron on. You are not leaving the iron on. You are not leaving the iron on. You're leaving the iron on. You're not turning the iron off. You're not turning the iron off. You're not leaving the iron on. If I can survive this one, I'll be alright. Future tense. You are going to be turning the iron off. You are not going to be leaving the iron on. You're going to be leaving the iron on. You're not going to be turning the iron off. You're not going to be turning the iron off. You're not going to be leaving the iron on. You will leave the iron on. You will not turn the iron off. You'll turn the iron off. You won't leave the iron on. Oh no, he or she. He has left the iron on. She has not turned the iron off. She's left the iron on. He hasn't turned the iron off. He hasn't turned the iron off. She's left the iron on. Present. He is leaving the iron on. She's not turning it. Sorry. She is not leaving the iron on. He's turning the iron off. She's not leaving the iron on. She's leaving the iron. She's leaving the iron on. He's not turning the iron off. You can also, sometimes I've been saying, he's turning the iron on. You can say that too. You can turn the iron on, or leave the iron on. You turn it on and then you leave the iron on. I'm surviving this one. That's all I could say. He is going to be leaving the iron on. She is not going to be turning the iron off. He's going to be turning the iron off. She's not going to be leaving the iron on. He's going to be turning the iron off. She's not going to be turning the iron on. She will leave the iron on, but he will not turn the iron off. She'll leave the iron on. He won't turn the iron off. Yeah, you can really feel that. Lost it. Nothing. Lost the plot. Means I've done too many. Today I've done 20. Today, this is number 16. I'm 15. I'll be doing five more. Because I have to get the first 20 on YouTube. Here we go. We have left the iron on. We have not left the iron off. We've turned the iron off. We haven't left the iron on. We've left the iron on. We've left the iron on. We haven't turned the iron off. Present. We are leaving the iron on. We are not turning the iron off. We're turning the iron off. We're not leaving the iron on. We're leaving the iron on. We're not turning the iron off. Future. We are going to be leaving the iron on. We are not going to be turning the iron off. We're going to be turning the iron off. We're not going to be leaving the iron on. We're going to be turning the iron off. We're not going to be turning. We're not going to be leaving the iron on. I don't know about that one. We will leave the iron on. We will not turn the iron off. We'll turn the iron off. We won't leave the iron on. Last one, they. Very important concepts here. Very important. And the way you get used to it is just practice, training. Just training. Practice 5 times, you know. They have left the iron on. They have not turned the iron off. They've turned the iron off. They haven't left the iron on. They've left the iron on. They haven't turned the iron off. They are leaving the iron on. They are not turning the iron off. They're turning the iron on. Sorry, they're turning the iron off. They're not turning the iron on. They're not leaving the iron on. Turning the iron on, leaving the iron on, you know, turning it on, leaving it on, just leave it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They're leaving the iron on. They're not turning the iron off. Oh, my last one. Oh, bad. I want you to learn this because this is really important. They are going to be turning the iron off. They are not going to be leaving the iron on. They're going to be leaving the iron. They're going to be leaving the iron on. They're not going to be turning the iron off. Oh, they're going to be turning the iron off. They're not going to be turning the iron on. Leaving the iron on. They will leave the iron on. They won't. They will not. Sorry. They will leave the iron on. They will not turn the iron off. They'll turn the iron off. They won't leave the iron on. Okay, that's this one. That is number 15. And if you survive that, you're okay. That is not easy. Don't worry about it. All a bit of fun. You will get the hang of it. All right. See you in number 16.